Welcome, namaste. This is Yoga with Ann Tony, and we're doing mat yoga for seniors, and this is Yoga Strong. Today's class is sculpting. So let's come to the top of our mat. And the first thing you want to do is, if your feet tend to go out like this, bring them straight, about outer hip distance. Lift and spread the toes. Bring your shoulders over hips, shoulders down, ears back. Feel that gentle arch in your back and the back of the neck. Lifting up towards the ceiling through the crown of your head. With straight arms, start to lift them without lifting the shoulders. And then exhale, bringing your arms to your side. Inhaling through the nostrils, lifting arms, not shoulders. Exhale, slowly exhaling through the nostrils or pursed lips. And again, this time lifting the chest and the chin as well as the arms. Exhale, slowly exhaling. And let's shake it out, loosen it up. And let's find mountain pose one more time. Lifting and spreading the toes. Shoulders over hips, ears over shoulders, lengthening up through the crown. As you inhale, lift those straight arms without the shoulders. Exhale, bending at the knees and the hips, keeping that straight back, letting your head drop. Walking your hands up your legs for that straight back. And then bending your knees, planting your hands, step back to upside down V, downward dog. If you have high blood pressure or glaucoma, keep your head above your heart. Otherwise, let it hang. And just kind of add some movement here. Take a few breaths. Get used to being upside down. Then we're going to walk it back. Slowly, gently. You can just hang here. Then walking your hands up your legs. Let's find that straight back. Coming all the way up. We're going to lift the heart. You're going to bring those shoulder blades towards each other. And release. And let's find mountain pose again. Every time you find mountain pose, you're building muscle memory for good posture. Inhale, lift the arms, not the shoulders. Exhale, folding at the knees and the hips. Hanging there. Half lift with that straight back. And then planting your hands for downward dog. And let's push those hands forward. Bend your knees to bring your hips back and up. And then I want you to pull your shoulders away from your ears for a big breath. And then gently come down to hands and knees in tabletop. Knees are under your hips and hands are under your shoulders. All right, you're going to tuck your toes. This is going to stretch out the plantar fascia. On the inhale, you're going to drop your belly, lift your chest. On the exhale, you're going to push away from the floor, lifting your spine, tucking in your chin. Continue with a few more of these cat-cows. Feel the stretch in the back. And then come back into the center with that neutral spine. Neutral spine means you're not overarching or over-rounding. We're going to lift navel to spine. We're going to bring right arm forward, left leg back for bird dog. I want you to lift as high as you can, arm and leg, but then lower that left hip so it's square with the right hip. Take 3 breaths. And switch sides. Left arm, right leg. Again, lift as high as you can. Lower that right hip to be even with the left. Maybe lift your chin if that doesn't hurt. 3 breaths. And release. And you can shake out those wrists. If you'd like, you can bring your hands to fists. And just lift up to downward dog. Take a big breath. And walk it into that forward fold. Wide legs, bent knees, kind of resting on your thighs. Walking hands up, all the way up. Bring your shoulder blades together. Lift your heart and chin. And release. And gently shake it out. All right, back to the top of your mat for mountain pose. We're now going to go into downward dog to plank. Feel free to do this with the back of your couch if you'd like, or a countertop. I'm just going to show you really quick what it looks like if you do that. You bring your hands down. This is what downward dog looks like. See how my hips are over my feet? And then plank, my shoulders come over my wrists, my hips drop. That's what that's going to look like. Otherwise, we'll do it on the floor. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the chest, lift the chin without lifting the shoulders. And exhale, bend those knees to fold. Half straight lift. Step back to downward dog. On the inhale, I want you to kind of push your hands forward and push your hips back and up. And then on the exhale, you're going to come into plank. So shoulders over wrists, and drop the hips as much as you comfortably can. You can be up here. And then back to downward dog. And then exhale back to plank. Your plank might look like this. It might look like this. And then back to downward dog. And then exhale to plank. See if you have to do one more. Then come to your knees. You're going to come to your fists if you'd like to give your wrists a break. We're going to bring our knees behind our hips, shoulders over wrists. We're going to bend the arms and straighten. Bend and straighten. Don't bring your elbows out. Don't hug them in. They're just kind of neutral. All right, one more. And then let's come back to downward dog. Tuck the toes and lift up and walk it in. That's our last sun salutation. Don't worry. And half lift. And all the way up into that heart opener and shake it out. Whew, you feel warm? That's what sun salutations do. All right, we're going to go into our chair pose now. So we want to open the heart, stick the butt out, and not go too low, okay? The first thing we're going to do is bring our feet about hip distance and bring the weight into the heels, okay? Then we're going to just bring that butt back and bend the knees. And then we're going to start to lift the chest up. You can do arms like this, cobra arms, or you can bring them out front. And then stand upright, suck in your glutes, let them go. Sit back in that chair again. Knees don't go forward, they go back. And then lift the heart, lift the chin if you'd like. And release, squeeze, release. And again, take a breath. Stand, squeeze, release, and again, weight in your heels. You can even lift your toes. Release, squeeze, release. And two more. Take a breath. Stand, squeeze, release. One more. Stand, squeeze, release. Shake it out. Bring your feet and legs a little bit wider. Namaste hands, we're going to press the entire hand together, thumbs to your breastbone, as we breathe and draw a big circle on the floor with the lower body only. Gently pressing namaste hands to work out those wrists. And reverse the circle. Breathe. One more. Gently pressing from the bottom of the hands to the fingertips. And shake it out. Loosen it up. And let's go ahead now and go into our warrior one to warrior two. So we're going to stand at the top of our mat. We're going to bring the right foot back with the heel down. I have space between my feet like railroad tracks. We're going to bend that front knee. We're going to square the hips forward and then bring shoulders over hips. Press into that back heel for the glute. Bend that knee as much as you can. Your hands will just come up as far as they can without lifting the shoulders. Chin and gaze follows. 3 breaths, warrior one. Now we're going to open up into warrior two. So this back foot's going to start to come towards the side of the mat. And we're going to open up pelvis and chest without letting the knee come forward. Keep the knee over those middle toes. Hug shoulders and shoulder blades down the back. Look at whatever you want for 3 breaths in warrior two. come into cobra. Lift that chest and side bend. Don't forward bend, side bend for 3 breaths. Side angle warrior. Look wherever you want. And come back up and walk it in. Shake it out. Let's let out a cleansing breath. And again. Now we're going to do that other side. Step to the top of your mat. Bring that left foot back, heel down. Bend that front knee. And square your hips, shoulders over hips. In this warrior one, I'm bending this knee as much as I can. I'm squaring those hips, and I'm pressing into that back heel. Lift your arms as high as they'll go without the shoulders, and then lift the gaze and the chin for 3 breaths in warrior one. Now to flow into warrior two, take this front right foot, kind of turn it to this inside corner of your mat so it's not straight. Turn this back foot straight, and then open up pelvis and chest. Okay, see there's no hips, they're in the center. Arms out with the palms up this time. Hug the shoulder blades down. Look at your spot, 3 breaths, whatever you want to look at. All right, lift the heart, side bend for side angle warrior, 3 breaths. Come back up, step it in, loosen it up, shake it out. All right, let's do a big cleansing breath. Let it out. All right, we're gonna go down to the floor now. You can flow down or just simply meet me down on your belly. Inhale, lift the arms and the heart and the chin. Exhale, folding at your knees and hips. Half straight lift. Bend the knees, step back to downward dog. Take a breath and come down to knees and to belly. We're gonna do some locust. So toenails are on the mat. Arms are to your side. Face is on the mat. Next time you inhale, press into your pubic bone. Lift the shoulders, lift the chest, lift the hands and the legs and the chin for 3 breaths. And come back down. Pause. Stack your hands to rest your head or chin. Bend your knees and just windshield wiper your legs. Let's do that again, this time with those cobra arms. Press into pubic bone, lift shoulders, lift arms, lift chest, lift chin, lift legs, 3 breaths, pressing into your pubic bone. Try to bring your shoulder blades together, lift those legs higher. 1 more breath, and release. Windshield wipers, back and forth, catch your breath. Ha. All right, we're gonna go into a little cobra here. Bring your hands under your shoulders and just lift. Maybe you just lift the chest, maybe the hips, maybe the knees, back into tabletop. And then we're going to come onto our backs. Let's do some windshield wipers on our back. Big breath, and let your knees fall to one side, looking opposite. And just flow with your breath back and forth. And back into the center. Bring your feet up off the floor. Bring your hands to build a wall against your knees and press your knees into your hand for a breath. And release. We're now working the transverse abdominis core muscles. You'll feel it in the lower belly. Let's do that again.
And tell me,
press.
Here is your reminder. The bug man.
Sorry about that. And release. And again, build that wall, press knees into hands, big breath. and release. And again. And release. 2 more. Slow breath, release. Last one, build the wall, press into your hands, big inhale and exhale. And release. And do some windshield wipers. Now walk your heels close towards your sits bones as you can. You can take that block that we have and place it between your inner thighs to squeeze. Press into your heels, squeeze your butt cheeks, lift up. Let's just kind of open our arms up, palms up. And I want you to squeeze the butt cheeks, squeeze the block, and lower down. We're gonna do that again. Don't turn your neck when you're in bridge pose. You can pinch a nerve. So wherever your arms are, just have the palms up. Again, squeeze the glutes, come into your heels, squeeze the block and lift. And relax everything down. And again, don't turn your head like I just did, and do it again. We're squeezing the block, we're squeezing the glutes, and we're pressing into our heels. And release. And let's do 3 more. Squeeze, squeeze, press, lift, release, and heels. Squeeze the block, squeeze the glutes, lift, and release. And 1 more. I keep turning my head. Don't do that. And release. And set that block aside. We'll need it in a minute. Again, your arms are out, palms up. We're going to let both knees fall to the right as we look to the left. And then opposite. And then lift your feet up off the floor. And bring both knees to the right as you look to the left. But try not to lift that left shoulder. And then inhale back in the center. And exhale to the other side. So you're keeping the shoulders down and you're hovering your knees. You're going to feel your side core, obliques, and side back muscles working. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. And continue. Go slow as your breath. Let the knees hover. And only go as far as you can without lifting your shoulders. The neck turning opposite is optional if that doesn't hurt your neck. Flow with your breath. Let's do 1 more on each side. Flowing with your breath. And then hug in those knees. Bring your feet down to the floor. Bring your right foot into figure 4. Relax that foot. Build a wall with your right hand and push your knee into that hand. And release. Just keep breathing. Let's do it again. Just breathe normal. Release. And again. It's about a breath per pose. And 2 more. These shorter classes are a little faster, but that's okay because you get done quicker. And again, if you'd like some longer classes on here, let me know. That's what I typically teach in person. Let's switch sides and let's push the knee against that hand. That hand's not pushing, it's just a firm wall. And release. And again. Release. This is good for sciatica. And again, it also helps stabilize your hips. Release. And again. Release. And 1 more. Now we're going to turn to our side, resting your head on your arm, your hand, or even the block. Bring your knees forward like you're in fetal position. The feet stay together. Imagine there's a snap there. Hand on your hip. Just lift that knee as high as you can and hold it for clamshell and release it. Just keep breathing. Lift it as high as you can without lifting the foot, and lower. And again, don't lean back, lift as high as you can. Release. You're gonna feel it shaking, that's good. We're working this, continue to lift. We're working this outer hip muscle without leaning back. Lower. Let's do 2 more. This is your TFL, and this helps stabilize your hips. Release, preventing falls. 1 more, as high as you can without leaning back, without lifting the foot, and release. We're gonna go to that other side and do clamshell on the other side. Again, come into fetal position. Find a comfortable position for your neck. And keep the feet together. Lift the knee as high as you can. And lower. And clamshell without leaning back as I just did. And lower. If I cheat, then you might cheat too. So lift up the leg. Don't lean back. And lower. If you lean back, you're using other muscles. We want to concentrate on this outer hip muscle, which you probably feel. And lower. 2 more. And lower. 1 more. And lower. And let's come back to the back, into those windshield wipers. Grab your block to have it nearby. And just windshield wiper. Ah, feels so good. We're gonna do a restorative pose here. You can do this as long as you'd like, or just end after 3 breaths. So you're gonna press into your feet, grab your block, lift your butt, place it under the lower back, upper buttocks. This is the sacrum. It's that little diamond-shaped bony spot, and let it go. If it doesn't feel comfortable, adjust it. Let your arms come out. We're just gonna take 3 breaths. I want you to feel these breaths in your belly, rising and falling. Feel your back releasing. And then we're going to start to bring one foot up off the floor and the other. If that hurts your back, just go back to that restorative bridge we just did, or start to lift your legs kind of loosely and take 3 more breaths. Whenever you have your feet above your heart, this is so good for your cardiovascular system. It gives your heart a break, and it also brings you into parasympathetic rest digest. You kind of loosen up those feet. And then we're going to bend the knees, bring one foot down, then the other. Pause. Slowly lift to release. Slowly lower back to the floor. And just windshield wiper. Before rolling to your side, sitting up. Namaste. Thank you. Have a great day. I hope you come back. If you do these practices 2-3 times a week, I promise you will get stronger. It's been proven you'll even probably live longer, and you will have less pain. Thank you. Have a great day.